In a recent survey of leading purchasing organizations sponsored by Strategy and Business, cost modeling tied for first in a ranking of the most critical purchasing skills. While company negotiates ruthlessly with suppliers using cost modeling fact-based negotiation, it is able to provide the understanding needed to squeeze supplier margins to the bare minimum. Fact-based negotiation can provide procurement executives are prioritizing new-in-kind strategies to deliver the next generation of cost reductions while balancing quality, delivery, service, and technology imperatives. This page showed electronic market supply chain every player role and responsibility. Majority of world-class electronic equipment and electronic consumer company already outsourcing their manufacturing to Asia. However, they keep their key component sourcing authority. For example, Dell keeps sourcing authority display, CPU, memory, imager and PCB. This chart will show supply chain end-to-end value added. When I purchased non-contract iPhone from AT&T distributor, it will cost about $499. Apple is consumer product design house, do not have mass production capability. iPhone was outsourcing to Foxconn, Taiwan leading OEM service provider. Price between $200 to $250 per phone. Material cost approximately 70% and 30% conversion cost. After assembling, Foxconn shipped to Apple distribution center. Apple added their overhead, tax, profit margin, and other cost, sells to AT&T about $350. AT&T also added their overhead, tax, profit margin, and other cost. Finally, consumer paid $499 from AT&T distributor. Every electronic equipment and electronic consumer market follow the same model. Fact-based negotiation already broadly deployed in best-in-class automobile, electronic equipment, electronic consumer industrial, even food industrials such as HP, Dell, Cisco, Apple, Motorola, Honda, and others leading supply chain company. At Honda of America, the evolution of the cost modeling function illustrates this concept. Initially, Honda employed a group of 20 to 25 experts in a central purchasing function who worked cooperatively with suppliers to develop sophisticated cost models. Over the past years, Honda has systematically codified the expertise into cost tables that can be used by anyone, not just a commodity expert, to cost out a part quickly based upon key drivers. Now the central function consists of only a half-dozen individuals. Cost modeling has become an organizational capability, not just an individual skill. Dave Nelson, Senior Vice President of Purchasing and Administrative Services at Honda of America Manufacturing, puts it this way: we know the cost with data, not gut feel. In the food business, the McDonald's Corporation has worked with suppliers to develop a sophisticated model to optimize chicken costs over the years. The model captures expected mortality rates and weight gains to determine the optimal breed mix under various conditions such as humidity and space allocation. Also, by modeling how feed mix affects weight gain and mortality, suppliers are able to adjust feeding programs to optimize weight gain in response to commodity feed price changes. Such a model provides a competitive advantage for McDonald's. In electronic arena, fact-based negotiation became standard practice. Nokia, Dell, HP, and Motorola had dedicated cost model and market intelligence team to provide this domain expertise. This page showed you participant from electronic equipment and electronic consumer industrial. I also had business review, visiting their manufacturing facility, cost research, and conduct fact-based negotiation with majority of this page participant. There are 4 key principles to create cost model. First principle: capture cost drivers, not just cost elements. Second principle: build commodity-specific models to highlight the key drivers. Inherent differences in products will cause different cost drivers to emerge among commodities, therefore, models should be commodity-specific. The largest cost element for semiconductors is facility overhead, while material and labor costs dominate the harness cost structure. Such differences in the relative magnitude of cost elements indicate that different cost drivers will dominate the models. For example, design considerations, such as the number of cutlets, breakouts, and connector types, should be captured in a cost model for wiring harnesses. A model for a semiconductor manufacturer, on the other hand, should focus on the scale and utilization of the facility because spreading capital cost is so critical. Third principle. Consider the impact of total cost of ownership. Common among all commodities is the importance of modeling the total cost of ownership. Few purchasing decisions should be based solely on the product's purchase price. Cost models to support such decision-making should include factors beyond mere price, such as shipping expenses, quality costs, and inventory carrying costs. In fact, in some purchased products, the cost of acquisition and use can be a multiple of the purchase price and the supplier's cost. Fourth principle. Start simply and add complexity only as needed. The first three principles for developing cost models encourage a broad approach to cost modeling that includes the drivers of total cost of ownership. Although these principles are critical to developing robust cost models, experience has shown that initial efforts should focus on simple models that include only the most important cost elements and drivers. Many efforts stall because overly complex cost models may lack good quality information. No matter how conceptually sophisticated the model, the old adage applies: garbage in, garbage out. The most effective models ultimately achieve the simplicity on the other side of complexity. Such models strip out unnecessary noise by focusing only on the most critical drivers. I invent CSI methodology using multiple data points to bracket the numbers and improve accuracy. For example, I will send out cost research self-assessment before factory visit. Ask supply for RFQ breakdown cost driver. Even though the magnitude of cost elements differs among suppliers, their values generally fall into a small range. At the initial stage of cost modeling, using cost structures from multiple suppliers helps to zero in on the actual value, even if some suppliers are less willing to share data. Alternative indirect sources of information also help in triangulation. For example, RFQ, observations from facility visit, internal experts, capital equipment suppliers, industry literature, and published statistics.